Okay, so the way that this works is we're going into this, our mindset is we don't want to be right. We don't want to win. So this can be in person or it can be on the phone. Customer says, hey, blah, 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 blah. The sky is falling, whatever. And you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Please tell me all about it. What you want them to do is puke all over the table. You don't want to interrupt. There's been times I've sat there and you're looking at the clock and you're 30 minutes in to listen. It is what it is. You just got
whatever it takes.
Take it.
Yep.
And by the way, and my Lexus never did this, but and just they're gonna say all kinds of stuff most of the time. Just let them do it. Now, whatever they say or whatever they end up with, once again, we don't want to be right. We don't want to correct them in the moment. All we're trying to do is absorb all of the energy from them. That's it. We're trying to absorb all the energy. And so whatever they end with, wherever it kind of starts to slow down, you want to say something to the effect, or you want to impose this feeling on them is, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. I am so sorry. We are going to use this as a learning opportunity. So, right? Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. I'm so sorry. We're going to use this as a learning opportunity. Now, in that moment, most of the time, they are expecting you to do what?
To fight them?
Fix it.
Yep.
Have a bunch of excuses, whatever it is. Tell them the policy, whatever. No, we're not doing that. No matter what it is, they think the location of our building is wrong. Things that are way outside of our control, it doesn't matter. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. I'm so sorry. We're going to use this as an opportunity to learn and get better. So that's kind of step 2.
Yeah.
Step 3 is putting them on ice.
All right, explain that a little bit.
So I'm going to say, give me some time to look into this. And most of the time, I already know what the answer is because I've already researched before I called them. But this has nothing to do with us. This is purely for them to now relax because they've given all this energy. They've got it all off their chest. You've absorbed all their energy and you apologized. And you said, we're going to use this as a learning opportunity. Now, when that's followed by, let me look into this, they're like, oh, heads are going to roll.
Yeah.
This really made a difference, right? Heads are going to roll. Somebody's going to get in trouble, whatever it is. Let me look into this. I'm going to call you back and then tell them when you're going to call them. And you have to call them when you tell them you're going to call them. Yeah. Don't say I'm going to call you in 2 hours and then not call them.
Sometimes, too, it's funny that you just said that because do you remember this happening where you'd get them to backpedal right away when they recognize the heads are going to grow? They're like, wait, I don't want anyone to get fired out of this. You ever have that happen?
It happens all the time.
Yeah. They go backwards even before we get them on ice.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Now, also, just like that, when you call them back in 2 hours, what is the tone?
They're calm.
Yeah. They're like,
so nice.
You're on my side. We're that 2 hours in between, I know the world isn't perfect. I know mistakes happen. Yeah.
It's like they took CBD or something like that in the meantime. Maybe not CBD.
No, maybe I don't know. I don't know what else. What other drug to say there? I was trying to think of one, but I don't know.
Quaaludes.
What's the date? What's the one Michael Jackson took that was an elephant tranquilizer?
I don't know.
That one. Maybe
that sounds terribly strong.
Okay, so now you're going to have a completely different experience on the after ice, right? We put them on ice. Yeah. Now we're coming back. The tone is going to be different. And then at that point, I then state the facts. So I would say, Christian, I looked into it. It is true that, rattles aren't covered after a year. And I'm really sorry about that. And I'm gonna run that up the flagpole. And I'm on the dealer council, and so I'm gonna bring that up because blah, 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 blah. But it isn't. So anything we do, I would be absorbing or paying for. So what can I do to fix this and make you feel good about it? And once again, kind of like you were saying, most of the time they're like, oh, well, I don't want you to pay for it or whatever it is. But I'm just, after I put them on ice, I'm stating the facts as they are. And then they will impose where they're at on those. Most of the time, I mean, if we've made a really huge mistake, you probably are gonna have to eat something, but most of the time, whatever the solution is more than fair.
And it's usually less. Like, so I think that was probably one of my favorite parts about this particular lesson is that I remember before I started doing the put them on ice, I would call and offer them something. And in a lot of cases, when I do it the other way around and ask them what they want, it's less than what I would have offered. And in the cases where it's more, then I have a decision to make. But like when you offer first, there's not too much that can happen, right? Other than like you're going to give more than you needed to, or it still wasn't enough for someone to be happy and they're going to feel like you shortchanged them. So letting them have that control of the what is it that makes you feel right, that's super important part of this thing. Do not go in there with an offer of here's what I'm going to do to fix it. It's like, what do you need to feel whole is a big different thing. And you'd be amazed at how often it's a nice car wash.
Yeah. And also I'm framing it that they kind of know that I'm eating it. It's not, this isn't a,
and at this point you're friends and they don't want to hurt their friend.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
That's the put them on ice technique. Very effective. Works in any situation, really, not just with customers. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, people want to be heard. Once they talk through it, it's almost like guided discovery. They realize that, it's a mistake. They realize the world isn't perfect. They sometimes realize that they are overreacting. But what happens most of the time is we meet them with resistance, we try to justify, we try to tell them how they're wrong, and all that does is build up pressure.
That's more
pressure, and then there's just a point they'll die on the hill.
That's right.
We don't want them to die on the hill. We want to let's get off the hill and let's go down here and have some lunch and be friends. Let's not die on the hill together. And so that's really what this technique is it's pulling the pressure away and absorbing their pressure, which nobody does. Most of the time, everybody wants to get off the phone, justify. I will say that it takes time. Sometimes they will go for a while. Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driving Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.